Hey, everybody. All right. Whew, the movie. Oh, man. I need my hat. Oh, my hair looks a little funky right now. There we go. That's better. Wish I would have realized that before, but I didn't. So I watched Wonder Woman. It was pretty good. Um, it was a little different. They made like one of the bad guys a woman named Dr. Poison or something. Hey, the American. And her face was all just messed up and stuff. They did compare Zeus to God, and which I didn't really care for that. Um, yeah, it was good. I liked it a lot. I just didn't like some of the referencing that they had in there trying to compare Zeus to God, and didn't care for that part. But have you seen it? Because I don't want to give anything away if you haven't. I've got to know before I say anything. I guess it doesn't matter. Um, I won't give too. I was shocked at the end. I thought, okay, because I used to watch Wonder Woman, and Steve was like in every episode, and um, I was surprised he died. That was kind of a shocker because I thought he would have been like in all of them or something. Um, but it was still a great ending and everything. I almost had a tear, but it was like, oh, it was really good. I liked it. Um, Another part was how they were trying to exterminate with some gases and stuff. And, it was showing in Germany and everything. So that was kind of weird on how it kind of takes today and how there's so many evil people out there. But she was badass. I was like this on some of it. Oh man, she kicks. There'll never really be another Wonder Woman like Linda Carter. I'm telling you that. But man, if they could have put the stuff that she did in this movie with the Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, man, that really would have been badass. It is worth renting. Totally rent it. It's well, I don't want to tell you too much, but you kind of are like, because it's like she's supposed to be part God, I think, and which I didn't really. Maybe she was in the series and I just didn't remember about it, but that bugged me a little bit. But it is just a story after all, and I just would hate for to think people would think that was real, real myth. Zeus was probably one of the offspring of the fallen angel. If he was that big, I don't know. Who knows? um, but she was pretty badass. I'll say that. And it would, yes, definitely watch it. Hi, whoever just popped in. It was really good. I'm waiting for Deanna to say if it's okay if I show what these movies that she sent me. They got here fast. So, but yeah, totally rent. I would go and see if it's at the library before you go to one of those red box or whatever, because then it's free. I don't know. I don't remember her being in that. because I did watch some of the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, but I don't really honestly remember her. I would have to look it up just to, for myself to find out. Um, oh shoot, who was that girl? I have no idea. Maybe it was her. Maybe it was, but I watched Wonder Woman for sure. And, Linda Carter almost looks exactly the same, which I think that's pretty cool. I know that Deborah Winger played her little sister in uh, Wonder Woman on the TV series. And I forgot about her until I was watching an episode, and there she was. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. And I was like, oh, God, I forgot she was in there. So I'm kind of wound up from it since, it literally just 2 minutes to 6 is when it got done. So I just barely got to, I need a drink. Got to start this on time. I thought I was going to have to go on here and say, give me just a few more minutes. Oh, yeah. Man, there was lots of good ones. I remember, and I don't know if it was a psychic moment or whatever. I don't know if you remember the show Family with Christy McNichols was the youngest daughter, and I think Meredith Baxter was the big sister. And I can't remember, I can picture the mother for sure, because she kind of reminded me of Aunt Wanda. Just kind of in her looks a little bit. And but I was telling my mom all about this show, and she was telling me, Sonia, it hasn't even started yet. But I told her a complete show, and everybody tells me or told me that it hadn't even started yet. And so whenever I watched it, it felt like a rerun. It was weird. And I'm sure the adults would have known, because we only had one TV and 3 channels, ABC, NBC, and CBS. So, I don't know. It was weird. Weird things like that happened to me since I was little. And, no wonder people think I'm a weirdo. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Another show, Starsky and Hutch. I remember watching, oh gosh, Perry Mason with my grandma. And, there was always Bonanza and Gunsmoke. And I'm kind of glad they have that. But you know what? I actually thought of a TV show while watching this, and it was Hogan's Hero. Did you? Is that what you got? Felt like it was good? I didn't have any fear at all. Even when it's bad ones, I don't. And that's how come I didn't say in the name of Jesus, leave, because I felt like, it was nothing bad and everything. But that was kind of cool, I can tell, like, whenever I look off in places, like I've done it just a couple of times, but it's like you just feel an energy, But that was kind of cool I didn't think that would ever really happen. I did one time, whenever I first moved into this cabin, I was like, felt some weird energy. And so I got my phone and just recorded for a few minutes. And sure enough, I got an orb just like it was coming up to the bed, And I've seen, you want me to tell you the creepiest thing? It kind of scared me because I wasn't used to anything like this. So, okay, this is back when I was with Gary's dad, okay? And he was sound asleep, and to put him to sleep, he watches Gomer Pyle. And I love Gomer Pyle, so I would always be like, don't watch that, because it would always keep me awake laughing. Okay. So I'm sitting there watching it, and all of a sudden I saw, you kind of see something out of the corner. I saw this thing go like that and back down. And I was like, I grabbed the covers and went like that. And, it was then pretty soon I grabbed my pillow and I put it over my feet. And I'm glad I did, because it felt like there was a cat walking on my bed. And I know that sounds weird, but it happened and it was weird. It was weird. And then shortly after that, Brandon's dad was in Minnesota. And so it was just him and me. And I wanted him to sleep with me and fall asleep watching cartoons. And so all of a sudden I kind of woke up. We were both asleep. The TV was going. And I woke up, and there was a man standing at the side of the bed. And I was like, and I covered Brandon. He was little. And I covered him like that. And I looked, and he went, and then just kind of disappeared. That was creepy. That's whenever I learned how to clear my own house. And, uh, nothing after. It was always like there was one area that it almost felt like there was a vortex or something, because it would be creepy to go down into the basement. The basement wasn't creepy, just like, okay, there's like, you go in the house and there's the living room and the kitchen. You can go upstairs and there's two bedrooms and a bathroom, and same going down. But then there's another set of stairs that go down into the basement where the laundry room is. And it's just right there in between. Was always really creepy, really creepy. And, so I'd always there was just weird things that were happening in the house. And, I didn't know how to get anything out. It finally came to me after doing a Bible study that you can do anything in the name of Jesus, if you believe it in your heart, truly and honestly. And so after that, I mean, there's a lot more to it, but I'm not going to go into all the details. It was like some experiences I feel like I had to go through. It was like God put me through lessons that I needed to learn for the time that we're living in and everything. So I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's just how I feel about it, because I've been through like just the strangest things, and I've done weird things. I got into Reiki and energy healing and stuff like that. And, the ghost hunting stuff, the learning, I tapped in more into my psychic abilities. And, it's just like, I always, I don't want y'all to think I do any kind of witchcraft or anything like that. I don't. I trust in the Lord Jesus Christ with everything. It's just, I think those were lessons that I had to learn. And especially with the ghosty stuff, it was like, because there's going to be so many demonic things happening. When Satan gets here, it's going to be full-blown demonic. Okay. Hi, Mario. It is actually today the sun was out, and there was no wind. The wind's picked up now, of course, but I went out just like this to my appointment and everything. So, but then, by the time I got done and everything, it was starting to cool off. And that was after 2, it was really nice earlier. Seems like after 3 is when the weather starts changing some. Okay. But there's definitely, if y'all see something, let me know, because I just thought I saw something here. Whenever Zoe, our little oh god, oh my gosh, Maltese, whenever she died, Gary was so heartbroken. And she was really old. She was like 14. And that's really long for a Maltese. But I saw her sitting at the top of the steps, and I thought that was, her saying goodbye or something. But when Gary's dad passed away, Mr. Malone, dude, he started barking and ran up the stairs and into Gary's room like he was barking at something. And that's never ever happened, and it hasn't happened since. Not even when Gary's mom passed away. But that was strange, and I was just like, I was thinking that he must have, actually, I can't say that. I'm just knowing. I can just, I I didn't know what to think. I knew it was something supernatural, but I don't know what I was thinking. And I was like, come on, let's go down here. And then I thought, I ain't sleeping in there tonight. So, because every time now that I go and house sit, I'll sleep up in my old bedroom and stuff. So, but yeah, that was creepy with the guy standing there. And then I don't know if I should tell y'all about. No, that might be too much. Yeah, there's like, you go to places that are really haunted and have some stuff on it, you can bring it back with you. I mean, you literally have to say, you are not allowed to attach to me or follow me home. Something like that, and or they will. They will. Christina's, we went out to, I've got a cheesy video. Some of it's dust. And that was like whenever I started doing the ghost hunting thing. But uh, so there's a picture on there that it looks like there's a skeleton doing this in front of this tree. And that's at the Bingham Hill Cemetery here. Well, not here, but down by Fort Collins. And I mean, there are some weird pictures, but the ones that with all the orbs, I'll say probably out of all of them, there's probably 5 that are real orbs. So it's kind of like, I should probably redo that video and cut some of that out. But so anyway, me and Teresa was at the Bingham Hill Cemetery, and just taking pictures. I didn't get that picture with her, but I was just taking her places. That's another long story, but anyway, and she was like, practicing her psychic abilities, and she was like, oh, well, you can come with me. I didn't even think to say no, even knowing it didn't cross my mind. I did have dowsing rods, and those can show you where a grave is, but they also do show you where there's a water source. I could show you right now, but this place is so small. There's pipes here running underneath, and so it would really be like kind of fake, I guess. I did used to mess with people when I was training them for ghost hunting. I'd be like, and you just barely move and they'll move. So you do have to hold them a certain way so you can tell if it's a real ghost or not. So anyway, we get back to the house, and the little dog that was with them just, Christina was sitting like in the chair here, the couch was over here, and another chair here. And all of a sudden, the dog was looking past Christina and just growling and barking. And I'm like, and then it hit me, oh shit, somebody came back. I guess it was a miner, is what she said. And, it's the Rocky Mountains. I don't doubt there's miners, spirits, or energy. But that was like something for the dog to growl at. And so they can attach. Me and a friend found a little cemetery out of the middle of nowhere. And, we parked over by this tree and walked across the street to the cemetery. But around the tree is what was haunted. And pretty soon on our way back, all of a sudden, it smelled like somebody was smoking in the car. And I didn't smoke at that time. And as soon as I got out, I said, you're not allowed to go in this house right here. You just need to move on. And we saw a black shadow, and it just went over to the next door neighbor's house. And I was like, oh God, I hope it didn't go into Eddie's house. Probably shouldn't have said that. But y'all don't know where they live anyway. So, and I don't think Eddie's there anymore anyway. So it doesn't matter. So yeah, they can attach to you if you don't, say something. Even like if you go into an antique store and look at stuff, they can attach to you. If they like your energy or something. I don't know how they do it. They attack vulnerable people, and pretty soon everybody's fighting in the house, and nobody's getting along, and nobody can figure out why. It's because there's something that got attached. Like when I went to the Perryville battlefield, okay, the famous Zach used me he used a picture of me saying I was a ghost, and he was taking the word for these two con artists. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that, but it was weird that before I really went out there and said what I said, there's like nothing orange on my face or my skin or nothing. And then, the people that were taking the pictures of us could not hear what I was saying because it was far away. And do y'all want me to tell y'all what I said? Because I've never mentioned it on here. I didn't mention it in the video. But if y'all want me to, you have to tell me. Eddie. Is Eddie the mascot of Iron Maiden? Okay, y'all don't want me to tell you what I said when I went on the battlefield to get something okay. I went on a Confederate battlefield, okay? And I said, well, I just want to tell y'all that we have a black president of the United States of America. And that's all it took. And something was attached. And when we got back to where we were staying, the lady said, we didn't have cell phones, but she said, what did you do? And I said, because I couldn't tell anything. And they were saying they could see stuff. I couldn't see, I couldn't feel anything. I was just didn't want to go out there by myself because there could have been a mugger or something, I fear more the living than the dead. Anyway. Oh no, Eddie was like my old neighbor. Yeah, but he's still alive. He just moved. But so yeah, that's what I said. And when I said, well, what do you mean? She goes, what did you do or say when you went out there? And I couldn't really think at the time. I don't remember doing anything, because she was saying, what did you do? And so I wasn't thinking, what did I say? And after I got the pictures, you could see like a huge orange blob on my face, in my hand. As my hand. And then whenever I was walking back into the cemetery, I turned and looked and she took a picture. I was smiling. And if you stop and it can zoom in on the picture and then put the other picture that I put in there next, you can see that it's me. Randon even said when I had it paused on, when they had it on TV, I said, I didn't even really say anything. I mean, they heard me go, "Oh my God, that's me." But he looked and said, What are you doing on TV?" I mean, even he could tell that was me. Maybe because he already saw the pictures or something. I don't know. But yeah, so something could attach to you and you not even know it. So, I don't go ghost hunting anymore. You don't have to because they're everywhere. You know, I still have all my ghost hunting stuff, and I've been tempted to break some of it out sometime, but I don't need to do that. I don't have to prove anything to anybody, you know. But it was for fun, you know. I say a lot. I'm sorry. Have y'all ever seen a ghost or had anything weird happen? Eddie is the mascot of Iron Maiden, though, isn't he? That big skeleton dude. Y'all didn't know I'm into heavy metal, huh? Not like I used to be. Oh, no signal. Man. Okay, I'll tell you a ghost story. Okay, and it's a true ghost story. And it happened at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're going up, supposed to be to the one of the most haunted cemeteries um, in Colorado. There's a couple. One of them is Woodpecker Hill, and I think this one, which I'm not gonna. Oh, Alt Nun Cemetery, and it's hard to find, and it's like pretty much in the middle of nowhere. And check this out: they built a UF tower out there, not close to it, but you know, probably within 5 miles of it, which that's weird. And I didn't believe it if I wouldn't have seen it for my own self. Okay. So we're going down there and we get like maybe a quarter mile away and I start just getting creeped out. I mean, this is in the daytime and I was like a little shaken and like it just felt completely different. As soon as we made that turn, it was weird. Hey Cole. Yep, you're welcome. And so we come to this little cemetery and there's three big ones. I mean, it looked like a father, mother, and teenager. It wasn't like a baby one. But I guess the rumor is these people were vampires. I don't know. I believe in energy vampires. People might be one and don't know it. It's like if you have energy when you're around someone and when you leave that person, you feel completely drained. That's an energy vampire. I believe in that, but I don't believe in vampires. That's just, I just, there's no proof of that out there anywhere. You know what I'm saying. Oh, that's them and the American. You don't always see them, but you can feel a different energy for sure. Um, yeah, it's something else. That was weird today for sure, for sure. But so Randon was even with me. And, we were out just riding around. And in the daytime, cemeteries shouldn't be scary. And this is not scary looking at all. It's just a little cemetery in the middle of nowhere. And man, it was creep. Brandon said, I'm not getting out of the car. He would not get out. I wasn't going to force him to get out. I just said, come on, let's go. And he was like, he could feel the weird energy too, is my guess. And it just felt really strange there. And I don't know. There was another time we were out there, and it was at nighttime, and a bunch of us, a whole big group, just went out there at night and was going to ghost hunt. And there's the car path, and then there's uh how you have that little medium from, you can see where the tires were. So there's 3 or 4 people standing over here, and there's 3 or 4 people of us standing on this side. And we all felt a warm wind run just in between us. It was weird. And then some weird things happened that night. And gosh, I don't know if y'all are going to think that's too weird. Are y'all going to judge me if I finish this story of what happened later? Well, I told y'all it's a ghost story, so I'll finish it. But remember, this is a true ghost story. Okay, so Randon wasn't with us on the second occasion when, it was just a bunch of us adults doing this. And, it was kind of boring and stuff until that happened. And, pretty soon I walked into this one area, and it just felt like I got stabbed right through my head. And I was just thinking, okay, it might be time to get out of here, and I just kept thinking that. I didn't want to say it because, I didn't want to ruin all the fun. I just would try and stand in different places until everybody had enough. And whenever I got home, I was sitting in the chair, and it felt like that somebody did a drive-by and shot me through the head. And I was just, it just felt like something went right through. And it was painful, like a little headache, but it went away right away. But I just thought, okay, this is just weird. And so whenever I finally went and crashed out, Randon woke up and said, and I was having a lot of back trouble, so I was sleeping somewhere different, the couch, the bedroom, Randon, and, different places. And so Randon woke up and said, Mama, can I trade you sides? And I said, that kind of creeped me out when he said it, because I thought I heard fear. And so it kind of scared me. And I said, how come? Of course I'll trade spots with you. And he said, I don't know. And so then I kind of got scared and thought, I was just scared. And so I closed my eyes, and this is frightening what I'm about to say. Be warned. It's very graphic. So I laid there and was dozing back off, and it felt like a spider the size of a tarantula crawled down my throat. And all of a sudden I was in just pitch black. And I was looking around, and I saw these 2 little demon creatures. And I was just looking at them, and I was pointing and going like that. And I was trying to talk, and I couldn't say anything. And I was trying to say Jesus. And then finally I spit out, in the name of Jesus Christ, you leave me alone right now. And I was back in the room. The next day, whenever I woke up, I threw up this blob of white stuff. And it was disgusting. And that's a true story. And that was graphic. I'm sorry. But after that, I learned you take Jesus and you don't really mess with this stuff, because stuff shift will happen, and you don't know what you're going to bring back with you. So it's kind of a, lots of lessons for me, you know. Whew. I hope I didn't scare y'all. That truly did happen, and thank God nothing like that has ever happened again. That's why 100% olive oil, pure olive oil, is the only thing that, that's the oil of God's people. And it is amazing. I've been like that since I can remember. I think I was about 2.5, maybe, when I moved into my grandma's house, and I would get woken up and all of a sudden just be in like a desert. It was weird. I was always scared to get up and go to the bathroom. And needless to say, in the beginning, whenever it was really freaky, I had an accident or two, but I kind of figured it out. But it was scary. I thought, there's nothing there. It was like I was in a desert. And maybe because Delhart was in the middle of the Dust Bowl, the Black Blizzard, that, could be a part of that. I don't know. It's just weird that I've just always had these experiences. And maybe it's the American 100% pure olive oil. That's the oil of God's people. They always put oil on Jesus, they'd anoint his head, and other people would do it too, the Jewish community. And so, and that's what Pastor Arnold Murray says too, because, I trust he does know what he's talking about. Oh, I don't know. A funny one where I got my mom, and, it might have come from my grandma. She was a twin, but I remember coming home from school one day, and my mom was hanging up the phone. She said, "You'll never guess who I was just talking to." And I said, "Cecil Juanita." And she's like, "How'd you know?" And it's like, I don't know. I walked up to a girl, and I had to go to, I might have told this story before, but one day I had to go to Michael's craft store. Didn't know why, and couldn't figure out what I was doing there. And so I went back by the yarn and everything, and this lady came out that worked there, and she, I'm going to leave out the smart ass part. Um, it was totally inappropriate, but she was like totally 80s looking with the makeup and the hair and everything, which is cool. I'm an 80s girl. And so I said, "Oh," and she looked at me, and I said, "Did you just lose someone?" And she goes, "Yeah." And so I go, man, this gives me kind of chills. And so I just kind of told her some stuff, and I said, I think whatever it was is an accident, and all I'm seeing is pills and like a watch that, not keeping track of the time. And that's pretty much, we stood there for like half an hour, and I don't remember really anything I was saying except for that, the important part. And so a couple of weeks later, she ran into me at Walmart, and she told whoever the person's mother, they thought he died of a suicide, and it was not that. That's what they were afraid of. And so maybe I was just there to let them know that it wasn't. He was just not keeping track of his medication and accidentally overdosed, but it wasn't suicide. So that's kind of, hello, not to me. You did, huh? You missed almost all of it. For shame. No, we're talking about ghosty stuff. So I'm just, blabbing we went from Wonder Woman to talking about the ghost that was in the orb that was in my house today and stuff. So that's a good one, the American. So, yeah, she told me that I guess it was her boyfriend. And she told his mom or something like that, and everything that I said, I think the important stuff that I said made sense to everybody that heard it, that she passed it along to. So, God will use you when he will. You just, I think maybe now that I am thinking about it, maybe that's what it's going to be like whenever we are delivered up to Satan. And, you're supposed to let God speak through you. So I'm wondering if that's what it's like. You don't think about it, it just comes out, because I had no idea what I was doing at Michael's. I didn't need anything. I ended up getting some yarn anyway, but it was very interesting. Oh no, we're telling ghost stories, true ones. One time, have y'all ever heard of the Goat Man anywhere? That, what do they call it? Legends or whatever. I swear, it's probably just a man that had a scraggly beard that we had never seen before, but we called him Goat Man. We would see him come down the street and we would yell, Goat Man, and take off running. Have you ever seen, well, I hope you feel better. Not me, feel better in the name of Jesus. I hope you're healed. Oh, really? Do you watch Ghost Adventures with that fake fraud, Zach Bagan? He's a turd in a bucket, I swear. Everywhere I would go for anywhere, there would always be something in a picture. Always. There wasn't like, I need to try and maybe I'll make a new video of the real, like I said, that one I made at the Waverly Hills in Perryville. There are a lot of what I thought were orbs that weren't. So I would like to take those out, make a better one of that. People get pissed at me because I called Zach out for being a fake, but he did use a picture of me without my permission and called me a wandering spirit. Oh well. Then some doorknob said, I'm gonna send that to him on Twitter and he's gonna sue you. I said, please send that to him. Maybe he'll apologize. That's so petty. I'm sorry. Let's see what else has happened to me. There's been, y'all want to know how powerful God is? Okay, so I was living in Minnesota and I was going to Texas for a vacation, okay? And took my Bible with me. And this is like late at night because I worked like the graveyard shift at the grocery store I was at. And all of a sudden, it was good weather when I left, and I got to Iowa and it started raining really bad. And then it started really coming down like the calm before the storm. And I would look up into the clouds because I was like, at that time, kind of paranoid with tornadoes and stuff. And I kept on telling Gary, there's going to be a flood here and, some petty stuff. Years later, there was a flood there. A lot of his stuff got ruined. So I called that one. Excuse me. So anyway, and I was looking up over every time it would lightning. I mean, you can see the cloud and stuff. So I would look and I thought, oh, Jesus, is that a funnel cloud? And I wasn't near an underpass or anything. This was Iowa. Psh, I don't even think there were any ditches. And I kept driving. And I remember a trucker did pass me, but I was still in my lane and everything. And then all of a sudden, it just stopped. And I was like, okay, okay. And I knew that something bad was about to happen. And so I was like, okay, there's an underpass. It's got to be soon because, eventually there is. So I just kept driving. And all of a sudden, there was hell. I could not see in front of me. I just stopped right where I was because I could not see anything. And I grabbed my Bible and I was hugging it and I was praying. And, I was just praying for God to take care of me, And this was way before I had Brandon and everything. And so, you know, I turned the radio up full blast because I just did not want to hear all that hell and everything hitting my little truck. It was scary. It was definitely scary. And so I had my Bible and I was clinging to my Bible, definitely. And I was yelling. I mean, I think I was screaming, praying, like, oh God, and everything. And when it stopped, I was facing the ditch, or not the ditch, but the field that was right there. And so I know that thing went right by me to spin my truck. It was so loud and everything. And the truck was shaking. I couldn't tell that I was spinning at all. I had my eyes closed and I was praying the whole time. And God took care of me in a tornado. So y'all cannot tell me that he does not take care of his own and he don't have a plan for you. So Zach Bagans, okay, he's like, and it's kind of funny because after when I saw that, then Nick broke off from the team and did his own thing with Katrina. But so I stopped watching Ghost Adventures because I just can't stand Zach Bagans. He's like cocky and he thinks he's something else, okay? And one of my friends, my ghost hunting friends, whenever they were up here at the Stanley, she was at the bar just sitting there minding her own business and getting a drink, and he walks up to her with these gloves on like he's going to go snowmobiling. And it wasn't even, it was just odd. I guess I picture it wasn't wintertime. And so then he was like, I hate to shake hands or something like that. You never know what people touch. And I thought, well, then you're in the wrong business of going on tour and, meet and greets. I just think he's a shithead. And this was way before the thing he did to me. So, so I quit watching him for a long time. And so I saw they went to Perryville Battlefield in Kentucky. And I thought, well, I went there. I'm going to see if I can see anything that they didn't in the, I don't look at them. I would look out and stuff. And all of a sudden he says, yeah, my producer, somebody sent him a badass photo that is pretty impressive or some shit like that, shift like that. And, then he introduced a couple of people that knew the photo well. And they think it's, he said they're credible. He knows them. They're credible. Right there is a clue whenever you have to repeat or you say that, because I don't recall him ever saying it before. Anyway, so they said, here we believe this is a rest. And it's a picture of me. And I'm like, what the F? And I screamed, that's me. I mean, I'm not going to do it here because Bob might think that something happened. I don't want to freak him out if I do it as loud as I did when I saw that on TV. I was mad. I thought, what the hell? Who said that they could do this? If they would have warned me, I might have could have played along with it and wouldn't be calling them out. But No, nobody bothers to ask me. So, and that just pisses me off. Used again. And so I didn't have none of that. And I emailed them right away and said, I think you better explain yourself why you're using a picture of me on TV calling me a ghost or a restless Civil War soldier. I made a video called Zach Bagans is a Fraud, ZAK, if you want to go, you know. I probably look like a dumbass in all of these, but I don't care. The last hate thing that I got, this is great, you guys, okay. There's probably a 14-year-old girl. So I had to not be so mean to her, as I can be when I try not to be that way. But she said, "Your hairline is fake." I was like, I did bust out laughing on that, and I did think that was pretty funny. I said, "Oh, you're about 14. It's past your bedtime. I think you better go back to bed." So, that was me being nice, you know. And there was some other kid. You can tell who don't watch it and just goes on there to be a smart ass. Yes, he does. So yeah, that's why, until I get an apology, and he'll probably never show his face. And I never know who's gonna go up to the Stanley. Like the Bacon brothers were there, and I had no idea until I got to work and my boss said that they were in town, so don't act surprised if they come in, in which they didn't. If they would have, I would have said, "Wow, you kind of look like Kevin Bacon. I got to show you this." And then pull out a bacon soda. That was my plan. I had no idea Rick Springfield was there. And guess who was there on February 3rd, the day the music died? Los Lobos. Do y'all remember them? Los Lobos? In the 80s, they came back with La Bamba. So I thought that was kind of cool that they were kind of touring on the 60th anniversary. That was 10 years before I was born. So yeah. So that's the kind of weird stuff that's happened to me throughout my whole life and everything. And that's why people probably wonder why I'm so weird and so sensitive. Um, yeah. So he'll use you, just let it happen. And, you do have to have discernment with knowing good from evil. Um, like with the Reiki thing, I was like, Lord, um, is this okay that I do this? And I heard a creepy, gross voice say, "It's evil." Really, I mean, that was cheesy, but the voice was creepy and it felt evil. And so I thought it was okay for me to learn to be a Reiki master. And I am a Reiki master. Um, back whenever I was doing that, I would always pray to God and make sure that it was still okay to do it and everything. I haven't done it in years. I did, somebody came in one time and it just started flowing. And so I knew she had received Reiki before. And so I just kind of gave her Reiki for a minute, and there was no other customers in there. And I'm like, "Oh, your wrist." And, it's kind of cool, but, it just, I don't know. I don't know. It feels like it's blowing now. Oh gosh, can you see the white spots on my palm? Can you see that? That's really never there until I start, if I mention Reiki and or anything that kind of activates. That's kind of weird. Ba la 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 la. I sing very bad, oh very bad, oh very bad. Don't do it. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Los Lobos, they were up here just recently, and you know, all kinds of people go up here, and I never know. So if Ghost Adventure, if Zach Bagans ever did go up there, I would probably never even know because he would be too much of a coward to, you know. All I've given away is I work at one of the candy stores downtown. So if he really wants to apologize, then he will come in and figure out which candy store. If he starts up at this end, it'll be quicker. So when you first get into town. And so that's, I guess, why so yeah, that's my deal with Zach. And yeah, one of the haters in the beginning said that I was obsessed with him. And I thought, I've only have one video that it's been dedicated calling him out being a fraud. How can I be obsessed with him? And like, this is probably the most I've ever talked about it in any of my videos that I've put out, besides the one dedicated calling him out being a fraud. I'm sorry, but you just don't put a picture on some, and the bad thing is there was an actual ghost right in front of me that you could see. It looked like a kid kind of leaning over like this with his head turned like that. All like in the picture, you can see the back. I couldn't see or feel anything whenever I was out there, you know. But why didn't they point that out? Because you can see a hat, you can see a scarf, you can kind of make out a jacket, and it looks like he's doing this, you know. And then there's one in that video I posted or made. I put out the pictures that he could have used. Okay. There's one with an actual Civil War soldier standing me in between me and the guy that went out there with me on the battlefield. Those chicken shit people, they were there to ghost hunt, and nobody wants to do it. That's just stupid, okay, for one. But so, yeah, when I said that, stuff started happening. And I think I reached out on one. Is that the one with the soldier? But anyway, I developed that one, and I would take it to people who don't believe in ghosts. And I said, "Oh, check this out. How many people do you see?" There's like 3. And I said, "Well, there were only 2 of us there." And I didn't do anything, not one thing to those pictures. I enhanced it, meaning lighten it up where you can, see more. And then the other one, when back in the cemetery, I was like feeling a cold spot. And it looks like I've got somebody's head in my hand. Other people said, that looks like a skull. And I'm thinking, I just see dark eyes for sure, but it looks like somebody's head. There is color to this whole thing. And then if you look, because I'm kneeling down, it looks like I'm on somebody's chest, and you can kind of see just a face there. I mean, it's when I saw that one, I shut the computer off because it scared the crap out of me. And I thought, what happened? No wonder she was saying, what did you do? Oh my gosh. Oh, he's got a supposed haunted museum. They don't let anybody in the basement, so I'm sure he rigs it up to make it seem haunted. He's trying to, I think, compete with oh, what's that lady's name? The Warrens. Frank Zappa. Frank Zappas and Lorraine Warren. I think he wants to get more haunted stuff than them and be more famous than them. Sorry, but I think he's just trying to compete. But and if he's doing that or not, I don't care. He's making shit up. So I'm saying that it's probably fake. He has everything rigged to seem haunted. Right. I can believe that. He's like a turd bucket to me and just a piece of crap. I need one of those pencils that I sent to Pete with the piece of poop on the top. This is you, dude. But, he thinks he's too big to. That's kind of like Diamond and Silk. I like what they do. when they made the comment and said, this is where I unsubscribed, because I thought those two people are full of shit. You know, that, I mean, they think they are something else. And that is one thing I cannot stand, is that cockiness of thinking you're all that. I hope I don't come across that way, because that is not my intention. You know, I'm somebody that you don't want to mess with or piss me off, I promise. But, you know, I don't try to be, and I'm not saying they're pretending to be someone they're not. And I like what they do with getting the word out and getting the truth out. I just can't stand them as people. Whenever I was watching them, and then like maybe the fifth or sixth one, they were like, oh, and I just, you know, we just can't come up and shake hands with everybody, and we have to have security. And I thought, you ain't that important. Nobody's going to try and assassinate you. I mean, it just kind of turned my stomach on how, you know, it just was cocky to me and did not rub right. Once in a while, I will still tune in, but I did unsubscribe. I thought that is nonsense, and I don't have time for that. It's like, I don't know. Just because, you know, President Trump amped him up. If I ever meet President Trump and act like that, somebody better slap the crap out of me and knock some sense into my head when that happens. Because, you know, oh my gosh. If you want me to send you one, I'll tell you how much they cost. And go to MeWe, to my chat, and let me know, and I'll send you one. But you'll have to buy it. I'm sorry. Just because I'm taller right now. So yeah, I got that where I work. I'm gonna send Deanna something. She sent me a package, and she's not here right now. They're probably tuning into Pete, which is, you know, that's, I was probably get going. But she sent me some stuff that I'm gonna watch. Tomorrow I actually have to work, and I forgot that I'm working the next 2 Wednesdays. I'll still be on, and you know, maybe I can get one of these in to give a review about, but it's this one, Obama. And you know, it's Alex Jones stuff, okay? And you know, it's hard. The last couple of times I tune into Alex Jones because, again, I like what he does, getting the truth out there and everything, but oh gosh, his voice just annoys me. But the last couple of times, that poor guy, I felt so bad for him. He was so down. And his voice didn't annoy me, but whenever he gets riled up, worse than Pete, I can't do it, and I have to turn it off. It's like, and I think I've seen a little bit of, there was something on YouTube. That's the Bohemian Grove stuff. But I don't think I watched all of it because I didn't have time to, and never went back to it. So this will be interesting. And I'm sure, excuse me, that there's more to this than there was on the YouTube one. And then I've never heard of this guy that I can think of. The name does not sound familiar. Aaron Russo or something. And so I'm going to check one of those out tomorrow and give a review on it. I'm back to my normal shift, so I should be okay. If I'm all tuckered out, then it'll just be a quick little review. Yeah, Ramona. Sorry, I can't just like click on a button and go to Facebook because I hate them. That's a powerful word, but I really dislike Facebook. And then once in a while, a message that if someone sends me a message, then I'll get a pop-up for the message, and you know, it don't go to the page. If I click on it, then it'll go to that message. And then if I want to snoop around or anything, then I can do that. So, and I hadn't seen her. I'm glad she looks like she's doing well. But yeah, so yeah, a little bit of Alex goes a long way. That's a fact. You know, he's in more ways than just the silliness of what I just said. You know, I don't remember him ever saying that Sandy Hook was a fake or a false flag or whatever it was. I've always heard him defending that is not the one who started that. And, you know, now I'm seeing that there's other people that have been saying it. And so maybe he was commenting on those people and they, you know, really blew it out of proportion. I mean, I don't know. I just feel bad for what's happening to him. And, you know, I hope that investigation is over soon so we can really take care of business in that. So, yeah, if y'all have any ideas for, I mean, questions about ghost hunting or anything I've been through, let me know. And you know, there's been so much, it's hard to think of everything, you know. With the tornado thing, you can see the hand in God. I mean, I do anyway. And I go outside and look around and it still never gets old, the view I get to have living in the Rockies. And I thank God every day for letting me get to see it. You know? He's not, but you know, like whenever I think it was yesterday morning. Oh, I was pissed. I mean, I hit my snooze, so I didn't even go on and listen to Pete's show, you know, right away. It was a few minutes. It was right whenever he had that lady standing up and we've had a revolution in other countries. Why can't we do it here? And I was awake and I was pissed. And you know, it's like, and I think I was telling Pete that I know you can't say that, you know, because they do get censored and it's sad. It shouldn't be up to anybody. If you don't want to listen, turn it off. You know, if you think it's too much, change the channel. But uh you know, I said I know that you can't say it, but I can. I'm not afraid of speaking out. You know, I get like shaking inside with anger and, you know, I feel bad if any of y'all was listening to that and me go on because I was pretty pissed that day. I think maybe it was Friday. Yep. And, you know, Pete's almost the same way, but all right, you guys, I'm going to meet you over at Pete's place and, you know, let's race. All right. Y'all ready? Get set. Go.